Hey, today we're telling you the story of Jessica and Ian. They're this week's fertility heroes. They've recorded all their highs and lows in trying to have a baby, and it's taught them that love and hope really conquers all. But before we begin, we publish new content all the time, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
I'm Jessica Lester, and I have been going on an IVF journey, and I really wanted to sit and talk about where I started and what's been going on, because I found out quite a few things throughout my journey, and I really like to share with other people. So how it started, it was probably about 3 years ago. My partner and I decided that we wanted to try for a baby. And at the time, I was probably around 37 years old. It didn't happen. So I think probably quite quickly, I went to my doctors and spoke to them. And I went through fertility testing through the hospital. So they test your hormones, your AMH. They check your fallopian tubes as well. And then you have your ovaries checked. And at that particular time, they couldn't find anything wrong with me, but I wasn't falling pregnant. So Ian and I decided that we would go down the IVF route. So we did a little bit of research. We went and explored a few clinics, and there was one particular clinic that clicked with us. So I think that's really important, to go out and research what works for you.
Probably the strongest person I know, in some ways. Very brave, also very emotional person. And has it changed her? Absolutely. Actually, in some ways, for the better, because she's very, very optimistic about the future. Even after everything happened, she's still quite or very optimistic about the chances and everything. But at the same time, there's been a bit of a, I don't want to say a wall, because that's the wrong way to put it, but a bit of, a barrier of getting her hopes up and stuff like that. So there's an inner strength that's holding everything together at the moment. So yeah, she definitely got a lot stronger. And even through all of it, she's very, very happy. Which said, probably the happiest people I know. Even in the face sometimes of adversity.
I think I was quite oblivious to IVF. I had absolutely no idea. And then as I started going through it, it's a process that I decided not to Google. I didn't decide to reach out to anyone. I just literally took on board what the clinic was saying to me. So if you're not aware of what happens, you start with injections. So you inject every single day. This was quite hard for me, because I can't inject myself. So this is something that I had to rely on Ian. And before we even started this process, I just want to say this was not through the NHS. This was something that we had to self-fund. So there was two things that we found out. One, the catchment area that I live in. At that particular time, they said that there was no more funding, so I live in Cambridge. And the second thing was that because Ian's got children already, we don't qualify, which, to be honest, I think something that is really quite, I don't agree with personally. I think if it was the woman that had children already, okay, I completely understand that. But when the other half has children, that's not your dream. That's not something that you've always wanted. We were lucky enough to find a package that the cost divided in 2 rounds. We started with our injections. At this particular point, the clinic didn't ask for any testing or anything like that, so we had the actual ones from the NHS. So we injected twice a day, and then it gets to a point where you do a trigger point, which basically stops you ovulating. Go for a scan and to check your follicles are the right length. At that particular point, because I haven't got a very high AMH, I only think I had about 8 follicles. And it doesn't mean that a follicle will have an egg or an inside it either. So the day of transfer, we managed to get 2 eggs on our first round of IVF. However, on the particular day, they gave us the option to put 2 embryos in. So we decided, because at that particular point it was about 20% chance of us falling pregnant, we decided to put both of them in. So that's the beginning of my journey. We did fall pregnant. My pregnancy, it was like the best thing in the world. So it's like the dream comes true. And it was something that I just thought, this is amazing. You go through IVF, you fall pregnant. So I think it was about 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks, I had my first early scan. And you expect this big congratulations, this is, your time, this is your baby. And unfortunately, Ian and I didn't have that. And then, we went for a scan. We were 10 weeks and there was nothing different. It was no heartbeat. So that was just heartbreaking. And I think the biggest thing is that you're sent away and you don't understand, and nothing's really explained. They just say it's just not a viable pregnancy. And when you're that far along, you have to go for a procedure as well. So after that, you're just literally sent away, and they say here's a few helplines and things, but I just didn't really understand why it went wrong, what happened. You think that you start thinking your future, everything's there, you're going to have a baby, and you think about how you're going to announce it to everyone, and it's the best thing in the world, and it's taken away from you very, very quickly.